Hey, you guys, Happy New Year. I am super excited to be here because I recently heard somebody tell a story about why they chose to first start homeschooling, and it opened my heart and my mind to see how powerful mothers are and parents, all of us who are out there on the front lines. And I wanted to share a little bit of her story and maybe a little bit of my story and my vision for how amazing you guys are and what a great job you're doing. So I don't have this lady's permission to share this story. I don't even know how to contact her. So I'm going to be kind of vague about it. But it was really powerful to listen to. I was in a meeting and she was sharing her personal story about how life was difficult, but sometimes the preparation that you receive, you didn't understand what it was when you were receiving it, but it really does prepare you for what you need to accomplish. So her story was that she felt like, I really need to take a class to prepare to teach a whole bunch of youth. And she thought, okay, that's awesome, I'll do that. And so she gets in and she starts taking this class, and it's a 6-week course, and they tell her up front, look, you're not gonna get the job. Nobody gets the job. We teach these classes all the time and nobody ever gets the job. There's just way more teachers than are needed. You're not gonna get the job. And so she's like, okay, that's fine. I'd still love to learn how to do it. So she spends 6 weeks and she learns all there is to know about it, and she feels really good. And at the end of the 6 weeks, they say, we do have a job for you. We have several classes that we would like you to teach. And she thought, well, that's fabulous. So then she starts, and the first day she goes, there are like 90 kids that she has that she would need to be teaching. And she realizes the emotional outlay that would be required to teach all of these kids is just beyond her ability at that moment in her life. She just thought, holy cow, I can't. This is too big, and I would basically have to choose to either teach these kids or to be here for my kids, because I don't have the energy and the emotional reserves to be able to do both. So I have to choose. And so she chose her family, and she felt really bad. She was like, how could I have received all that training and been going forward on what I felt was the right thing to do, and then it was wrong, and she just felt like she had made a mistake, and she felt really bad about it. Well, some time went on, and a situation came up where she felt like she needed to be in the public school with her kids, subbing at different classes. She didn't necessarily even want to be in her kids' class. She just felt like they're really nervous, and if they knew that I was in the building, it would help them calm down and it would be fine. And so she starts subbing, and she doesn't like it. It's not good for her. And people are saying, hey, we really need you to take over this person's class and really buy into this. And she felt like, I cannot, this is so hard. I don't know what I can do. And one day she went and she substituted in her younger daughter's class, not the one that actually she was choosing to substitute for, but a different daughter. And while she was in that class, she observed some things going on in the classroom that were really distressing to her, really problematic for her daughter. And so she said, that's not okay. I can't have this situation continue as it is. And so she went home and she put a lot of thought and prayer into it. And she finally said, I'm going to pull my daughter out of public school, which she had never considered doing. This was not her goal in life. She thought, I don't know what else to do. And I don't think that my daughter would have ever told me what the problem was there, because frankly, I believe her daughter probably didn't even know. The kids, their reality is what it is. They don't know that it's weird. They don't know that it's hard. They don't know. They don't know to come home and tell you what things are happening that as an adult you say, that's a red flag. They don't know. It's just the water they're swimming in. And so because she was there substituting, she saw it and she was like, whoa. And she pulled her daughter out and she started homeschooling her. Now, here's what's really interesting. When she was telling this story, she was still in the middle of it, and she's still kind of stressed out about it, and she doesn't necessarily see the bigger view, but she was like, I can see that it was important for me to be in the school so that I could be there and I could see the need that my daughter had. But I thought, do you know, the thing that you did, I think it was like a year before, where you prepared to teach all of those youth, was also preparation. Because when you really understand what it means to teach, you know that it's way more than just knowledge. It's way more than just, reading to somebody. It's all about the emotional outlay. It's all about the relationships. It's all about helping somebody become and using education as the tool that helps them become. But it's not about checking off a list. And she got that way back when she said, I can't handle all of these kids. It's either them or it's my kids. She understood that there was a lot of emotional requirements when it comes to teaching kids, and she chose to meet the needs of her family rather than going out and draining herself so she wasn't available for her kids. So all of this is to say that she had this experience that prepared her in step by step so that when it came time for her to pull her daughter out of school, she was prepared mentally and emotionally, that she said, I'm willing to make this really big jump. Now, I've only met one person ever who looked at homeschooling and said, that works. I'm going to try that. That sounds like fun. I think we'll shoot the breeze. We're just going to do this for a little bit. I have only met one person who did that. Every other person who has decided to homeschool, it was a crisis moment for them. Something big happened that forced them to go from the plan, which was, I'm going to send my kids to public school because why not? That's what everybody does. And something happened that shook that world and made it to a place where you said, that's not going to work for us. For whatever reason, it doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for my kids. It doesn't work for my spouse. It doesn't work. And I have to change and take on a whole new idea. And some of us have then taken on additional whole new ideas where we say, wow, and I don't want it to look like public school. I need it to be something else entirely. And I've got to take on that whole new change in my life. And it's big. It's enormous. This change is so big. But the preparation that is in place is amazing, that especially once you're through it a little bit, you can take a step back and say, whoa, when I was a kid, I loved reading stories. I loved creating games for kids. I loved gathering people around me. I loved math, whatever. You start seeing these little pieces in your life and you're like, oh my goodness, that is coming out here in my homeschool. And I'm creating something really special. And I can see the preparation really was for years and years, little tiny pieces getting put into place so that I'm ready to make this jump and ready to be a good homeschool mom. So I don't really know if I want to tell my story. Her story is better than mine, but it kind of follows the same pattern of crisis, and then you make the jump and you go forward. And she was just so inspiring to me because she was really seeing that this is a powerful thing in her daughter's life and in her life, that she's going to make this big change and she was going to do what is required. And I just had this picture in my mind of moms all over the world really getting ready at the beginning of January and saying, I'm going to do it. And whether you're really excited about that and you're just motivated and you feel like I've had a great break and I really want to get at this and things are good, I want to do this, or you're kind of hungover from Christmas and you're thinking, I'm exhausted, we bought so much stuff, I don't know where it's going to go, I'm really stressed out about this, or anywhere in between. The fact is, I have this picture of all of us, wherever we're standing, however we're feeling emotionally, showing up and being there and saying, we're going to do school. We're going to make this difference in our kids' lives. We're going to be the best we can be. And day after day, when you do that, there are going to be just rewards that are so huge. You're going to have kids that are going to grow up and they're going to love you. Not always. There will be moments when they're not happy with you, but they're going to usually love you. They're going to have great relationships with you. They're going to become who they're supposed to become. And it's because of the efforts that you're making. It's because you're showing up at the beginning of January and every month as you press forward in this kind of crazy ride, but really, really powerful thing that you're doing. So I just wanted to share that vision with you. You guys, you're doing huge things. You're doing really, really important things. You're changing the world. You're changing your family. Maybe you're changing your culture. Maybe you're just changing the books that you're reading today, but you are the catalyst for change. You're making such a big difference in your family's life. You're doing a much better job than you think you are. We really, really need you. Keep it up, and I will see you on the next one.